What up, y'all? So, I don't know if any of y'all have been following the Republican National Convention, but I watched it. I watched a replay today. And was that Amber Rose up there representing I don't know who?
Please welcome Amber Rose from South Philadelphia.
From South Philly. Is that supposed to be a subtle way of saying she's representing black folks?
My name is Amber Rose. I'm a model and entrepreneur. Thank you. But most importantly, I'm a mother. My whole world revolves around providing for my children, keeping them safe, and giving them an opportunity for a better life. That's something that unites all American parents, whether we're Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, or liberals. We all want a better country for our children.
Well, that's one thing she said that's right, but I'm sure it's about to go right. Or left, actually, but I'm sure the shit's about to go bad. Let's watch.
But I'm here tonight to tell you, no matter your political background, that the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump president of the United States.
I knew it. I knew it was about to go bad. Oh my God, really? I think she's about as crazy as Kanye West.
Now you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician and I don't want to be.
Thank God.
I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump.
All right. The media has lied about Donald Trump? Or has Donald Trump lied about Donald Trump? Come on, this dude's been a con man and a grifter his entire life.
I know this because for a long time I believed those lies. So I'm here to set the record straight.
Set it straight, Amber.
I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse.
I'm shocked.
The left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump.
Now, before she gets into this, I'm going to throw my opinion out there. Donald Trump is a racist fucker. He called for the execution of the Central Park Five back in the 80s when these boys were picked up for a crime that they did not commit. And even after they were exonerated, he said that they shouldn't have been released from prison. And he still hasn't apologized to these men to this day. Not a, "I'm sorry, I was wrong, I made a mistake, and I'm happy that you finally, were exonerated." None of that. In fact, Donald Trump hasn't even spoken to the guy who was killed at his rally this past week.
People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters.
The mark of the beast.
I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
You know what? She's partially right. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about you or me or any of those other groups other than the Christian white nationalists that they are. And there's a lot of them they don't give a fuck about. Actually, they don't give a damn about anybody that disagrees with their movement. Project 2025, y'all. Y'all better pay attention to what's about to happen.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
You know what? You feel like those are your people, Amber Rose? Stay right there. We don't want you. They can have you. The black delegation has spoken, and we actually give you up for nothing in return. They don't even have to give us anybody. They can have you outright. Fake ass laughing. It's ridiculous.
So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you.
It's sad.
Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad.
That I really don't understand. I really don't understand that.
I love you.
How can any veteran, especially a 20-year veteran, support Donald Trump? The draft-dodging coward who said that dead veterans were suckers and losers. That wasn't made up. His top general, his chief of staff, said that he said that. And that's why they gave up supporting him, because he had so many disparaging things to say about veterans. Remember John McCain, Senator John McCain, Vietnam War hero, shot down over Vietnam, spent 5 years in a Vietnamese prison. In fact, he spent 5 years at the Hanoi Hilton, one of the most, one of the worst places that an American could ever be. And he served 5 years there as a prisoner of war and had the opportunity to leave. They gave him the opportunity to leave. All he had to do was denounce the United States, denounce his country and his patriotism, and they were going to let him go. And John McCain opted out. He said, I am not going to leave here until all of my men are home too. And he stayed there until the United States negotiated a release for all of the known prisoners of war. I would imagine that there were a few that didn't get released, and there may have been some that chose to stay in Vietnam. I don't know. But John McCain stayed there until releases were official and people were being sent home. He did not want to leave any of his men behind. So I commend him for that.
So much. Thank you. When I met the president and Melania for the first time, he was kind and generous and funny as hell.
Funny as hell. That's because he was trying to figure out how to get in your pants, Amber. And as far as Melania, I'm sure you can relate to her, a fellow stripper, a fellow gold digging whatever.
Very funny. The First Lady was gracious and smart with a smile that will brighten up any room.
Gracious and smart. Yeah, she's smart. She's smart enough to latch on to a sucker like Donald Trump. I'm sure she has a nice fat prenup in place, and quite sure the only reason she's staying now because the longer she stays, the larger the dollar amount gets.
If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're pissed. I know I am.
All right, so let's tell the truth. Prices are going down. Inflation is down. Presidents have no control over that. There's not a single president that's ever been that could go to the corporate world or the business world and demand that they lower their prices. Okay? In fact, when Donald Trump raised tariffs so high against China while he was in office, that's partially the reason we got such high prices now. That's partially the reason inflation went sky high. Aside from COVID, aside from the blunder of COVID, but Donald Trump, and he cut taxes for the top 1% of Americans, the billionaires. Your ass didn't get a tax cut. The billionaires got a tax cut. You didn't end up with more money in your pocket during the Trump years. Stop telling that lie. Stop telling that lie. And right now, we are basically experiencing the consequences of the Donald Trump years. Donald Trump was not good for this country, is not good for this country. And Amber Rose is right. We are in trouble because Donald Trump very well may get reelected, and that's probably going to be the end of America as we know it. We quite possibly could be looking at the last elected U.S. president, because you think when his 4 years is up, you think he's going to leave? Mark my word, he ain't trying to leave this time. And he has all the people in place now to help him stay.
And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump.
That's right. Inflation wasn't as high when we were under Donald Trump. But Donald Trump and his actions and his policies are what set the environment for inflation to shoot so high. I heard some shit earlier today talking about how the liberals, were giving away free money. All that free money was given away under the Trump administration. Under the Trump administration, in which the Republicans had control of the House of Representatives like they do now. It's Congress that controls the purse strings. And Donald Trump had a Republican Congress, as well as a Republican Senate for most of his term. So you can't blame liberals. You can't blame the Democrats. This all falls on Republicans.
My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth.
The truth is, the left doesn't tell you to hate anybody. The left tells you to open your eyes, do actual research, and learn the actual truth as to what's going on and what's possibly going to happen if Trump gets back into office. You don't hear anybody on the left saying, go hate this and go hate that person and this, that. We got a 34-time convicted criminal who might possibly win the White House. Convicted criminals can't join the military, but we're possibly going to allow one to run the military, to command the military. Does that even sound right?
American families were better when Donald Trump was president.
Let me tell you something else. Financially, I did much better when Obama was in office. Oil prices were booming. You know, we were up in North Dakota hauling oil, working in the fields up there, getting crazy money. But then the bottom fell out. And that didn't have anything to do with President Obama. The bottom fell out because the oil companies decided, we're drilling too much and we need to knock the bottom out of this shit so prices can go back up. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Corporate America is what controls prices and inflation in this country. Don't for 1 second fall into the false narrative that a president can control these companies. He can manipulate these companies by offering them certain things, but at the end of the day, these corporations are going to do what they want to do. And if they don't like what a president is doing in office, such as taxing the hell out of them and making them pay their fair share, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to raise prices because they know people have to get shit. No matter how high the prices go, people still have to buy shit because we need shit. And because Americans are greedy and they want shit. They want a lot of shit that we really don't necessarily need. And it's we all like to have nice things. But you think about how many of your friends right now are living beyond their means because they're trying to stunt. They're trying to look good. They're trying to look better than the next man. Fuck that. Knock it off. Knock it off. We got to take ownership of our own situations.
We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes.
How are we safer? I always hear this stuff about, there were no wars under Donald Trump. And Biden screwed up the withdrawal from Afghanistan. The withdrawal from Afghanistan was Trump's deal. That's the deal Trump made with the Taliban. All Biden did was follow through with the deal that was in place, that was put in place by Donald Trump and his people.
Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please welcome Amber Rose from South Philadelphia.
All right, sorry about that. But listen, y'all gotta really be aware of what's happening. Project 2025 is going to take us back to the 1800s. And if you don't believe it, you need to read it yourselves. Don't take my word for it. Go download a copy of it and read through it yourselves. Because I can tell you anything I want to tell you. But until you see it with your own eyes, you're never going to know the truth. And what's crazy is the fact that I think people, even now, they're so high off Donald Trump that I don't even think they would believe it if they read it themselves. We watch the videos, we watch the rallies, we hear what comes out of his mouth on a daily basis, and people seem like they just don't care. He lies every time he opens his mouth. I've actually heard people say they don't care that he's a liar. They're still going to support their man. They don't care that he's a convicted criminal. However, if my ass was convicted of something, I'm not getting a job. I'm not going to be able to get good credit. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Because, man, we see Mr. Jackson, you're a convicted felon, which I'm not. I'm just saying as an example. But here we are with a 34-time convicted felon, draft-dodging coward, about to possibly be put back into the White House. I'm scared, y'all. I'm really scared. I'm out.